Welcome to The Explainer. If you're an investor who owns or maybe you're just considering picking up some Kansas City rental property, well, you're absolutely in the right place today. We're going to dive deep into fair housing compliance for Kansas City landlords as we look ahead to 2026. Now, we're taking an authoritative, practical, and data-driven approach here to help you navigate these complex local regulations without crossing into legal advice. I want to be super clear right up front. This explainer is strictly educational. It's absolutely not legal or tax advice. Fair housing rules are constantly evolving and they vary by city, so always consult an attorney. But today, we'll give you the lay of the land so you know exactly what questions to ask.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our structured funnel approach for today. 1. The federal baseline. 2. Kansas City income rules. 3. The state line divide. 4. Avoiding common mistakes. And 5. Consistent screening processes.
Section 1. The federal baseline.
So to really understand this, we've got to start with the universally understood federal baseline before we tackle any Kansas City specifics. At the very core of this foundation is the Fair Housing Act. This is the big federal law prohibiting housing discrimination in everything from advertising and screening to leases and tenant treatment. It's the whole shebang. It literally dictates how you can talk about your property publicly and how you evaluate potential renters. And again, just to remind you, our discussion of this act today is purely educational, not legal counsel.
Now, this act protects 7 specific federally protected classes. We're talking about race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability. These apply universally across the entire nation. They're definitely not an option, and they're not a mere formality, guys. Every single property manager and landlord absolutely must adhere to these protections. Slipping up here and getting a complaint regarding any of these categories is honestly among the costliest mistakes a landlord can make.
Section 2. Kansas City Income Rules.
Now we're guiding you to the local layer where things get kind of complicated for Kansas City area investors. So here's a question you might be wondering. Can I refuse housing vouchers? If you're a landlord in the area, you've probably asked yourself this very question, and it introduces a very specific compliance trap known as source of income discrimination. A lot of folks assume they know the answer just based on the federal law, but the local rules, they completely change the game.
Here's the deal. In Kansas City, Missouri, you generally can't reject an applicant solely for using a housing choice voucher, which most of us know as Section 8. Kansas City, Missouri specifically prohibits source of income discrimination. And honestly, this surprises so many well-meaning owners who just assume they can decline vouchers outright. But if a prospective tenant wants to use a lawful income source to pay rent, you simply cannot use the source of that income as the reason to deny them.
Section 3. The state line divide.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark legal contrast. Think about the tension of managing property in a metro area that spans 2 completely different states. Depending strictly on which side of the state line a property sits, the rules change entirely. A property in Kansas City, Missouri falls under that city's strict source of income protection. Meanwhile, a property sitting right across the line in a Kansas suburb or even just a different Missouri municipality, well, they might operate under completely different local rules. You absolutely can't just slap one blanket policy across a whole regional portfolio. You've got to verify the exact local ordinance for the specific city your property is located in.
Section 4. Avoiding common mistakes. Let's talk about the stakes here, specifically the costliest mistakes you can make regarding these varying rules. Marcus Painter, the founder of Alpine Property Management Kansas City, hit the nail on the head. He says, even unintentional inconsistency can create liability. One written standard for everyone is the protection. This is absolutely crucial to remember. Well-meaning owners often create massive liability for themselves simply through inconsistent rules. It's not always malicious discrimination. Actually, scratch that. Most of the time, it's just sloppy screening.
Section 5. Consistent screening processes. So, what's the practical, data-driven solution to these compliance challenges? Let's walk through these exact tactical steps. Step 1. Use one single written standard. You've got to apply it identically to every single applicant. No exceptions. Step 2. Document your decisions objectively. You can absolutely still screen for income sufficiency and rental history, but you must measure everyone against the exact same objective criteria. And Step 3. Confirm local city ordinances. Since we know the rules vary so widely across the metro area, checking the specific address of the property is your absolute best legal protection.
Now, managing this level of detail takes a lot of experience. Alpine Property Management Kansas City has been successfully navigating these complex local ordinances since 2013.
Alpine is a property management company serving Kansas City investors with more than a decade of active, hands-on experience dealing with all the crazy intricacies of both Missouri and Kansas local laws. And this brilliantly illustrates the scale of their operations. Alpine applies this strict, consistent discipline across more than 250 homes in the Kansas City metro area. To put that into perspective, when you're managing that many properties across dozens of different municipalities, maintaining a single, consistently documented screening process is literally the only way to operate safely. It's a proven model for success in what is undeniably a really complex regulatory environment.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Is your screening process truly consistent, or are you risking a fair housing violation? It's a serious question every local real estate investor needs to ask themselves right now. Taking these regulations seriously is the absolute foundation of a profitable and stress-free rental portfolio. For help managing your Kansas City rental property, call Alpine at 816-343-4520 or visit alpinekansascity.com.